Welcome! This is Will at Work. I'm Kevin. Today we're looking at the Magnavox Odyssey 300. Interestingly, Magnavox was its own company originally, and Philips purchased them around 1976 when they were working on all of these Pong systems. And at some point in the process, they started to create Philips Pong systems over in Europe, and very similar in most cases. They either use the design and just change some of the numbering around, or in one case, I don't know if it's Magnavox or Philips, but there's a TV with a built-in Odyssey 300 inside of it that was also given like a number. And then they had some variants of some of the later edition ones. I don't collect those, but I do have one of them we'll look at, which I believe is a sort of a unique variant in that it's not using the same processor or discrete circuits of the other ones. But today we're looking at the 300. Now we looked at the 100 and the 200, which were released in a series, and they were the units which, they were not really based on a microchip design. They were based on the original Odyssey, which we looked at first, and put into a far less expensive plastic case similar to this one. And the 100 was the lower priced unit with only 2 games, and then the 200 had an additional game as well as the ability to play with 4 paddles. Mistakenly on the box it says that it's 4-player, but what they really meant was that there were paddle, what are they called, paddles? I don't know what you call the blockers on each side, but there were 4 of those rather than 2, but it was not a 4-player system, and we did check that when we were messing around with it, so it was kind of interesting. Now with the 300, they went away from the Odyssey 1 design, and they gave us an AY3 8500 unit to go up against Coleco's Telstar. Now, back in like 1976 or 77, I think it's 76, this was about $70, right? It's very expensive for what it is, at that period of time. $70 was quite a lot of money for something that's basically going to give you, these same 3 games without a lot of variation. It does have on-screen scoring, so they got rid of the score sliders here. And like all the other AY3 8500 systems that we've seen, which there have been a lot, offers, standard Pong, which they call tennis, 4-player or 4-paddle hockey, and probably practice or a version of highlight or squash. Otherwise, we don't have the 3 controls anymore because we're no longer concerned with the horizontal movement, or we're only interested in the vertical. And these seem okay. And let's take a look at the back. So here we've got a label. It's first run. 13583,000 is the serial number. Nice even number there, I guess. Magnavox, Fort Wayne, Indiana. And I don't see a date. I mean, you might be able to interpret this YE07 as some sort of date, but I mean, it's not 2007, obviously. It's it's 1970, maybe 77. I don't know if it was that late, though. These are pretty early. But this is the first one, that they released, which was based off of the, the same microprocessor design. So they went with a more generic unit to keep the cost down and to compete with Coleco in this space. These were the, Coleco, Atari, and Magnavox / Philips were basically your main systems at that time, right? Your main Pongs. Now that we have seen many others, so it just really didn't matter if you wanted a discount Pong that was in black and white and had no frills. There was lots of variations of that. But if you wanted something that was, being advertised on TV and in flyers and things, you would end up with a Coleco or a Coleco Telstar or a Magnavox unit here, or of course the biggest being Atari. Honestly, the Atari Pongs were in color, and they were well designed, small systems. I don't know if their price was prohibitive at that time, but it seems to me that they would have sold rather well versus the competition. I mean, why would you buy this when you could get the color, on-screen scoring, and the features of an Atari Pong system? I don't know. All right, I'm trying to find my flathead screwdriver here. I know it's around here somewhere. I didn't really move it or anything. What did I do with it? Because I got to open the back of this thing here. I have all sorts of screwdrivers, but I have a larger one somewhere. Oh, there it is. It's under my leg. So let's go ahead and just pop this one open. We'll see what the condition is of the battery tray and everything inside it. So it looks good, right? Right off the bat, it looks nice and clean. No, it doesn't look like this one has coffee spilled on it or anything. These RF, this is going to be your RF modulator here. It's touch and go. Now, if you've been following the series that I've been doing on all of these consoles for a while, or, if you've found my videos on YouTube and you're going through them, and you're like, my God, it's another Pong. I don't know if I can handle it. I did want to just mention that I have decided to bite the bullet and order a small television that does PAL. And what's the best way to do this? And I also got a step-up power transformer coming, so that I can connect and test some PAL systems. Now, I'm not going to go back and redo any of the videos that I have with PAL units. We've pretty much covered that, and I don't think the display, this is just going to be a rather small monitor. It's like a little, little screen, and it wasn't too expensive, and I figured, well, they can ship that to me. It won't cost an arm and a leg to get one of that size, and I can get a step-up transformer, and I can check it out. Now, one of the reasons I went ahead and ordered that is because I recently acquired a really rare console that is PAL, and unfortunately, where I'm at in the collection of systems is that most of the units, well, it really doesn't want to, I guess that's good enough, are either going to be some very obscure Japanese systems or English, European systems, or in the UK. Germany especially has a lot of weird ones. You also have the things in Australia, and they run on PAL. And so, as a collector, I need to be able to look at things in PAL. So, I do have that one Magnavox unit that is from Europe, And so hopefully when my converter gets here and the TV, we'll be able to plug it in and try it and be able to see if we get a display out of it. Now, it's not going to be something that I can tune in like I do with the other ones to the encoder. We've talked about that. It's not impossible to do. Obviously, people, bring video lines in on PAL and encode it, but it's difficult here because, the encoder is NTSC or whatever, and I have tried to switch it to a PAL signal and stuff, but it doesn't quite work with all of the gears. So I'll tinker with it. We'll see what happens, but more than likely, we'll probably just look on the monitor. You'll probably get some flicker because of the refresh rate differences we just see when you're looking at screens. We'll just see if it works. That's kind of the purpose of the show. But, it's a bit better than just saying, like, we don't know if it works or not. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of where we're at. So let's see here. We're getting sound, so that's good. So I'm going to go ahead and hook this up to the VCR. That'll go into the encoder. We'll switch over to the video side, and we'll see what we see on the 300. If for some reason I cannot get a display at all, I'll jump back here and we'll talk about what might be wrong with it. But we've had really good luck with these, so we'll switch over and we'll see the usual AY38500 be really short. Here we go. Looking at the Odyssey 300, we have a nice clean signal, which is great to see. This one, like I said, looked nice on the inside, and considering its age, it looks really good here. Let's test the controls. It looks a little bit shaky there. Probably needs to be cleaned. We've seen that behavior before. Although a lot of times if you just, play it for a while, it'll work itself out. The game is currently over, so I can't bounce the ball on anything. Well, I'm sure I could just push it to the right here for some reset. Let's try that. Here we go. Okay, so that one's shaky. Let's look at the left side. It's a little bit better. Probably could be, again, cleaned and worked out, but not bad. So Pong looks good. Let's look at hockey. So we've got the usual 4-player hockey mode. And then there, we can kind of push it in the middle. It's sort of they say it's like a feature, but it's more like a bug of the AY38500, where if you don't select the game, you go into this handicap mode where the one player has 3 paddles rather than 2. And virtually no consoles, I think like one Pong system supports that feature. So that's just halfway through. And then here we have, it looks like squash / highlight, which is typical for this, processor. And this processor also had 2 gun games, and you could also do a practice mode. So there was a total of 6 games, 7 if you include the hidden game with the handicap that I just mentioned. So a lot of people use this exact same chip for all of those features. But hey, whatever. It works. It's fine. No problems with this one. Odyssey 300, first one with a microchip from Magnavox, and we'll be looking at the 400 in a future video. Thanks for watching. See you next time.